Welcome again, Virgo. It's Dadhichi here from astrology.com.au, October 2018. And I've been focusing specifically this month on one planet, very important planet in the scheme of the zodiac and astrology, and that is the planet Saturn. And I guess for you it's particularly pertinent because just of late it has started to transit the sign of Capricorn. And Capricorn is actually the fifth sign to Virgo. The fifth sign relates to your creative impulse. It relates to children. It actually has a lot to say about the balance that you have between your awareness in this moment and what it is you are actually doing in this moment. So the question is, to what level is there a disconnect between what you are doing and how you feel about what you are doing in this moment? You see, because the harmony between function, that is what you are doing, and how you internally feel about that really determines who you are. Who you are to this point has been a thought, an idea, a projection. Because actually when people look at you, their perception of you is very, very different. Who you are is very different in their eyes to what you perceive. The only way you are going to bring your perception of who you are in line with what other people's perception of who you are is to have complete harmony and equilibrium internally. So of course, as I've said to some of the other star signs this month, this harmonization process between doing and feeling results in being. So how do you feel about what you're doing? To what degree is your creative process really singing along, really buzzing? How do you feel about this moment? I always ask clients, when they say, "Oh, I've got all these troubles, Dadhichi, what am I going to do?" Say, well, hang on one moment. What's wrong with right now if you don't think about it? The qualifier there is if you don't think about it. And believe it or not, that part of the statement is the bridge between becoming and being. In other words, you're constantly doing things to become something else. That's why when people say to me, "Oh, Dadhichi, how can I become happy? How can I be happy?" So, well, it's not a matter of becoming anything. The reason you're not happy is because you are lunging mentally, emotionally into the future. Or you're probably retro-projecting back into the past, feeling shame, guilt, all sorts of regret, in the future daydreaming about what could be. It's all woulda, coulda, shoulda. So the harmony I'm talking about here is just simply that statement. What is wrong with right now if you don't think about it? Bring yourself back into this moment. What exactly are you doing right this moment? Because Saturn transiting in your fifth house of creativity brings with it that very specific question. I mean, he doesn't jump out and go, "Hey, that's my job on behalf of Saturn to ask you, how are you connected to what you are doing, Virgo? What exactly are you doing?" Because if what you're doing is not what you want to be doing, then that's the disruption of the harmony. You can't have harmony if your heart is not in what you're doing. That is why the fifth house for you, Capricorn, the sign of Capricorn in the fifth house, has everything to do with the creative process. And the best way you can learn about this is by studying children. If you have children, look at the way children function in the world. They are living the question or the statement, what's wrong with right now if you don't think about it? They're just playing. They're just in the moment. They're in vertical time, not horizontal time, worried about what happened, what's going to happen. That's a disciplinary state. You have to be disciplined in that state. And so it comes down to the question again, well, how can I be happy? And I say, the secret of happiness is to be happy, and to be happy is a decision. Now, once you make that decision, it doesn't even mean you have to change what you are doing. See, I preceded the whole reading by saying, if you're not aligned with what you are doing, then you're not going to be happy. So people automatically assume that I'm saying you have to stop doing what you're doing and do something else. Oh, I don't like this job, I've got to get another job. Actually, no, it's the reverse of that. Until you can do what you love, you must love what you do. That's the discipline, Virgo. You have to, and generally you do, because that is part and parcel of your astrological signature. You are a person who is naturally given to service. You don't always want the limelight. You want to do a job and do it well. And so in that sense, you're probably at an advantage to many of the other star signs, because that comes naturally. However, there are peaks and troughs. There are, these waves in time where it's easier and harder at different times. So right now, just recently, Saturn has moved into this creative part of your horoscope. So it's going to maybe put the brakes on. It's going to make you question what you're doing. It's going to make you feel, geez, I'm serving everyone all the time, but I'm not doing anything for myself. You've got to resist that resistance. The resistance is Saturn. Saturn is making you question your own value, your own capability, your own trust in the process of life. So don't do that. Just relax, take a few deep breaths, and realign yourself with your function, what it is you're doing. Love what you're doing, even if you hate doing the dishes. Get into it. Feel the plate, the suds, the sound. Just forget everything else and put yourself 100% into function. That awareness aligning with function equals being. And being is happiness. I hope that makes sense. I hope I haven't convoluted this too much. I've tried to simplify it as much as possible. Join me next month. Next month I'm going to talk about Jupiter. And for you, Jupiter is very important because it relates to your relationships. And Jupiter is the planet of expansion. So let's take a look at that principle in terms of its transit right now, at this time of the year, October, November, December, the last 3 months of 2018, and see how we can best bring that equilibrium into your life. In the meantime, before I see you again, Virgo, please come along, tell your friends, come to astrology.com.au. If you haven't been there, there's a wealth of material there to accessorize what I've just been talking about, and I do hope you'll do that. And of course, I hope to see you here next month. I've lost my automatic button. See you here again. Bye-bye.